Hi everybody, this is Craig Heath. I am in Hong Kong and I was watching all of your videos and it was such a pleasure, really. I'm giving you a round of applause to all of you. It was fantastic. And a standing ovation, but you have to imagine that I'm standing. Because if I stand, then you won't see me. So, wow, I have so much to say. I have all these notes written down. I've been procrastinating making this video all day long, so I did the dishes, did the laundry, cleaned the house, thinking of things that I needed to say. So I'm going to do my best. I wanted to start out talking about Brian first, because he was so special to all of us, even those of you that haven't ever met him or had the pleasure to work with him. He was such an amazing man. I mean, this tribute to him is so incredible. It's hard for me to even talk about it. But I always, whenever I think of Brian, I always laugh because he is so funny. So it's hard for me to get really sad when I think about him because I always think of the funny things. When I worked with him, I do remember I laughed all the time. It was one thing after another. Like little comments that he'd say or make about people that were standing around, or if he didn't feel good, he'd say something really funny, and he was just so funny. I try to be like him when I am working with people as well. One of the things I wanted to say is that, and this is hopefully inspirational, he would all the time come to the rink ready to work and be totally prepared. He'd have notes written, he'd have ideas. A lot of times he'd have choreography already finished and he'd just teach it to me. We did 6 numbers together, and I love every single one of them. One of them I haven't actually performed yet, so I'm saving it. And I have it all on paper and on a video, and one day I will do it. But I have to be completely prepared and trained to do that number someday. That'll be a special moment, that's for sure. But all the other 5 I've done for years and years and years and years, and I love every single one of them. Let's see. So he'd come totally prepared. Everything would be mapped out, and it would be like this layered web of things. He'd start choreography, and then he'd think of another idea, and then he'd add to what he already thought. But he was always so prepared. I couldn't believe it. He could really get a number done because he was prepared before, like super fast. We did my last 2 numbers that we did together. We did them both in a week, and they were both very difficult ones, actually. And the last one that we did, actually, haven't done yet. So, he was a brilliant man. He was thoughtful. He pulled ideas from life, books, movies, experiences, thoughts. He was always coming up with new ideas for choreography, and his choreography there was meaning behind every single movement. So every single movement had feeling, and he would talk to me about that, and I'm sure he would do that, talk to everyone that he worked with about each movement and what it meant. And that's such an amazing thing, because I don't think that a lot of people really think about what each single movement means. So moving on, I know you guys are really anxious to hear my scores. Judging's hard. So I will get to the scores, so they don't have a nervous breakdown. Okay, let's start with the Champions Division. And this is challenge number 4, the Brian Wright Tribute. So I'm going to start with Adam Blake. Nice choice of music. And I really liked Kate. She used the entire body, and she used her breath, which I really liked. And Brian always did that, actually. He used breath all the time in his choreography and the movements. And I really noticed that when she was skating, she used her breath. And she's her whole body, and she's the whole ice surface. Nice use of space. Great flow from one move to another. I would have liked more moments like the end where I could take a breath. So it was a little hint of being manic for me. I wanted to just take it back just a little bit. That's one comment I had. But overall, I really liked it. And I gave you a 4.5. Yay. Moving on to Garrett. Great sharp movements. I thought you could have used the space a little bit better, but it was good. It was good, but I just thought it could be a bit better. I like the flow. I didn't feel that the movements had a really strong meaning, but they were good and they were sharp, but I didn't feel so much from them. Although I did have a sense of Brian while you were skating, so of course that's really important, and that's what this is all about. So I did feel that. And I liked the use of tricks within the choreography to tell a story. And I gave you a 4. Diana Lynn Webster Wells. That's a lot of names. Great use of space. Great choice of music. There's lots of feeling. I really felt like Tiffany was possessed by Brian. I really did. Honestly, you got it across, what you wanted to get across, and I thought that was fantastic. I loved the whole body movements. I really felt something when I was watching Tiffany. Great use of torso. I could have seen a few more tricks. Not that you have to have tricks within choreography, but I like to see some kind of ice skating, something or other. It doesn't have to be a jump or spin. It could be, a hydro blade or an illusion or something like this. I could have seen a little bit of that, so that's my one comment. But overall, I really, really enjoyed it. Very good job. I gave you a 4.5. Moving on to Felicia. Jonathan, he was a great skater. Good job for getting him. Very nice program and choreography. I didn't really feel the Brian essence in this piece. There were a few hints of it, but the overall feeling for me wasn't there when I was watching it. It was full of energy, and there were great moments, and it was a great program. So it's just that I wasn't really, really feeling Brian in this piece. Like I said, I felt hints of it, but I didn't totally feel it. So I gave you a 3. Marielle Chambers. Really fun program, but again, I didn't really feel Brian in this program. Great moments for sure. And I know I wrote down, he would love that song. He would absolutely, and he'd be like dancing and singing on the table to it, and it would be hilarious. And it was a great tribute for him, but for me, I wasn't totally sold on it, so I gave you a 2.5.